Melior Botanicals, and I'm with my new friend,
Kira Shepard.
Kira Shepard. And Kira worked for Steep Hill for a period of time, and she's here to talk to us about testing.
Yeah.
So Kira, how do you, I mean, testing is a big deal. How do you can tell a good lab from a bad lab? What kind of questions would you ask? What would you look for?
So consensus is everything in science. If something is repeatable, then we have more confidence in it. So a really good indication of a great lab is if they participate in consensus testing. Emerald Scientific actually has a test every year, and they test these labs on whether or not they're finding the accurate amount of colony forming units in their microbial tests. They'll test them based on potency, pesticide residue, all of that. So if they participate in that test, they go ahead and publish those results, and all of the labs have them, and then they give them scores. So that is a great way to determine if you're working with a lab that actually cares about the information that they're giving out. Another way to determine whether or not you're working with a great lab is actually going to be on the potency. A little trick is if you're working with a cannabis extraction or a cannabis extract and it's gone over high pressure and high temperature, and your testing result is showing that it has a little bit of THCA or a little bit of CBDA, that's sort of alarming because we're going to see that decarboxylation process occurring once it goes under heat. And if you're seeing an acid that, and you're supposed to have that decarb form of THC,
it should already be decarbed. It shouldn't be there.
That is an indication that something's kind of not right. Maybe they have like a little residue going on there. And just finally, be aware of what you're dealing with. If you're dealing with like the nice terp sauce, if you're dealing with the terp sauce with the crystals, go ahead and look at those percentages. Sometimes the percent will actually equal out to more than 100%.
Now, when you say a terp sauce, what do you what do you mean? What do you mean?
Terp sauce is pretty much when people use like the THC crystals, and they have the terpenes like mixed in with them, so it looks like crystals inside of a really fragrant, nice smelling sauce. And then those kind of can throw off analytical equipment for newer labs if they haven't encountered that type of concentrate, or if you're working with something that's nano encapsulated, just make sure that you're communicating with your lab about what it is that you're testing.
So that's a really good question. Okay, so I bet a lot of the people in our audience may not even know what nano encapsulation is.
Okay.
Can you describe nano encapsulation for me?
Nano encapsulation is pretty much a method that makes a molecule more bioavailable in your body, and it's also a process that makes it so that you can absorb that molecule better, and you don't have to use as much of the molecule inside of the treatment. People nano encapsulate differently, and it's usually a proprietary method. I've worked with several producers, and so I'm actually not allowed, I just don't talk about method and how to do things. However, if you reach out to
Dan Grimm at Melior Botanicals. Thank you, Kira.
Reach out to Dan, and if you have some very specific and nuanced questions, I'd love to chat with you, and we can talk about different methods for accomplishing different goals.
Awesome. This is Dan and Kira from the Expo. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm sorry I got in your hair.
You're all
Thank
good.
you.
It's kind of tall, huh?